Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed our introduction video, our brain, ears, and eyes part 2, the camping trip. This is video number 1 for this week, and we are going to be working on a non-fiction book called All About Bichons. Can you say Bichon? That is the type of dog right here. Do these dogs look familiar to any of you? They were in our story last week, and I know when we were at school, you know how much I love dogs. We read about these dogs quite a bit. This is Bella and Rosie, and Bella and Rosie are a type of dog called a Bichon Frise. And that's the way to say it. That sounds very fancy, I think. A Bichon Frise. Would you all like to see my dog? He is not a Bichon Frise. Let me show you. This is Bosco. He's a Japanese chin. That's the type of dog he is, right? He's very sleepy right now. This is his nap time. Okay, but anyway, so a Japanese chin is a special type of dog, and a Bichon Frise is a special type of dog. Other types you've heard, I'm sure, of Chihuahuas, right? And Labradors, and Golden Doodles, and schnauzers. There's a ton of them, a ton of different breeds of dogs. We're going to learn about Bichons this week, right? Now, if you remember, I said it's a nonfiction book. That means that it's real. We're going to learn real information about Bichons, right? And so I've got my board right here because I'm ready to make a list of the things that I learned about Bichons while I'm reading. So remember, I'm going to read it first, and then I'll read it at the beginning of every single video, and then after the final video for the week, you can take an AR test on it. It is an AR test. Okay, so here we go. And I'm going to list things I learn about Bichons as I go along in the story. Okay, so I'll read a page and stop and list what I learned. Okay, here is a Bichon Frise. A Bichon is a small white dog. So what did we learn on that page about Bichons? They're all. Look, and this part we know, don't we? All. They're small. What else did we learn? What color are they usually? Always white. Here's the first part. Not wah, it goes together. It says wah, I, silent E. There's the word wah, I, white. So on the first page, we learned that Bichons are small and white. Let's see what we learned about next. Oh, I think this page is so interesting. A long time ago, Bichons went with sailors on boat trips. The dogs made the sailors feel happy on long trips. I know being stuck in the house for a long amount of time, spending time with my dog makes me feel happy too. So it was their idea that if they sent these happy little dogs on these long boat trips with the sailors, it would help them feel happy and keep their spirits up. So we need to list something about that, don't we? So we know that they're happy dogs. App. And then sounds like an E, but it's a tricky Y. App E. They're happy. So far we've learned they're small, they're white, and they're happy. And they went on boat trips. Scoot it over, with sailors. And remember, that was to keep the sailors happy, to keep their spirits up. Oh, look how sweet. Bichons do not get very big. That's right. We said they're small already, so we don't need to list very are not very big because that's the same thing as small. They have long curly tails. They have black noses and round black eyes. See their black nose and their round black eyes. And here you can see its curly tail. It's kind of hard to tell that it's long because it curls up and lays on its back. But if you were to straighten out its tail, it would be a pretty long tail. So what did we learn about Bichons on that page? We learned they're not very big, but that's the same thing as saying they're small. So we don't need to list that again. They have long curly tails. That's right. So let's see. Long, long, comma. Remember the comma? That means pause for just a second. Long, look, look, look. There's our UR from last week. Curly tails. Tails, long curly tails. What else did we learn on this page? Black noses and round black eyes. Black, black noses, noses, comma. Getting hard to see, isn't it? And I'm going to try to hold it up. And eyes. I think I can fit that over there. There it is. Okay, we have learned a lot already, and I've just read 3 pages. That's amazing. Bichons are friendly and happy dogs. Look, we've already got happy on here. Look what I can do. I can add a comma. Remember, comma means to pause. And add the word friendly. Friendly. That's a terrible looking E, Mrs. Belcher. Shame on you. That's not much better. Okay, so Bichons are friendly and happy dogs. They are good dogs for families. They like to play and go for walks. So, what do they like to do? We might say that they're playful, right? They're playful. So I know the first part of that word, and you do too. You know how to write that word. Play, don't you? They like to play. They are playful. They are full of play. They're playful. They're playful and they like to go on walks. So playful and they like walks, right? And those are some things that make them good dogs for families. Some people think that Bichons do not shed. Do you know what shed means? That means their fur comes off and sticks to everything. Their fur doesn't all come off. We shed too. Sometimes you'll pull out a hair or something, right? We shed. Look there, I shedded. We shed too. But some people think that Bichons do not shed at all, but they do shed some of their hair. Some people with allergies can have a Bichon. Now, I have allergies, but they're not bad enough that I would have to get a special dog. But some people do have really bad allergies. And so having a dog that doesn't shed very much is really, really helpful for people with bad allergies. Let's look at that word allergies, okay? Look. There's the ER we've been working on. Allergies. Allergies. Do you see how those letters make the word allergies? So they shed a little bit. So I'm going to put down here, shed, ed, shed a little. There's the word little we know. They shed a little. And they're good for people with allergies. All right, keep reading. It is good to brush a bichon's fur every day. If you do not brush a bichon's fur, it will get matted. Do you know what matted means? Well, if you have long hair especially and you sleep on it and then you get, my mama used to call them rat's nests. They're not really rat's nests in your hair, but they're all tangled up, right? You ever gotten your hair tangled? It's like that. Like dogs and cats, especially those with long fur, their hair can get tangled up. And that's another word for that is matted. So you have to brush a bichon every day. So I'm going to list that down here. Look how much we've learned already. Brush, there's our every day. And look, there's that AY in day, just like in play that we know, right? So you have to brush them every day or their fur will get tangled, it'll get matted. If you get a Bichon puppy, you will need to take good care of it. You will need to give your puppy good food to eat. You will also need to take your puppy for walks and teach your puppy to go to the bathroom outside. If you take care of your puppy, you will have a new best friend. So on that page, we learned a lot of things about taking care of a puppy. And what we're going to write about in video number 3 coming up after our next video is we're going to make a list for our writing this week instead of writing a sentence. Because you don't always write sentences. Adults don't always write sentences. I make a grocery list when I go to the store sometimes. And that's one way that I write. And so you might make a Christmas list or a list of things you want for your birthday, right? So lists, just like we did today with the facts about Bichon Frises, lists are another way that we can write, okay? So this week instead for our writing video, instead of writing a sentence out, right, with our who, what, and why, we're going to make a list of things to do to take care of your puppy, right? And this really goes for any puppy, not just a Bichon. The important things to remember about a Bichon, they're very active, and their fur can get matted easily, so you've got to brush them every day. But just like any dog, I'm going to read this page again, okay? If you get a Bichon puppy, you will need to take good care of it. Well, that applies to any dog you get, doesn't it? You will need to give your puppy good food to eat. Yep, even my Japanese Chin over there needs good food to eat. You will also need to take your puppy for walks. Yep, that applies to all dogs too. And teach your puppy to go to the bathroom outside. That's just handy and sanitary. So honestly, my Bosco isn't very good about that, but we're working on it. We're working on it. If you take care of your puppy, you will have a new best friend. So in video number 3, we're going to write a list of the things you need to remember when you get a puppy, how to take care of a puppy, not just the Bichon. So before we go in video number 1, let's review. I'm going to get Bosco to help us review. Come here, Bosco. All right. Bosco is also white, like a Bichon. Bosco also has a black nose, like a Bichon. And look, he also has round black eyes like a Bichon. But his fur is not curly. His fur is straight. And he has different colors in him. Bichons real Bichons are always white from what I gather. I might be wrong about that, so I'll have to look that up. So if you're ever unsure about a fact, do some research and look it up. So Bosco, help us out here. We learned that Bichons are small, white, that tells us they're white, they're happy, and then later in the book we also learned that they're friendly. They went on boat trips with sailors. I think that's probably my favorite fact that I learned about Bichons. They have long, curly tails. They have black noses and round eyes. They're playful. They like walks. They shed a little, and remember that was good for people who had allergies, who were allergic to dogs. And you have to brush them every day to keep their fur from getting tangled or matted. So that's all. Join me in video number 2 when we work with some words. We're going to take some words apart and practice putting words in boxes like we do at school. So we'll see you then.